Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Hillary, and if you're new here, I share about quilting, sewing, and crafting. Today is a Flosstube where I'm going to do a deep dive into my current cross-stitch works in progress, finishes, and plans. At the end, I'll also go over some quilting finishes that I've had recently, as well as some quilting plans for some upcoming stuff that I will be working on. This is Flosstube number 2. My last one was about a month ago. And even though it has been a month, you would assume I got a lot of stitching done in a month, but I did not. With August, it becomes back to school time. My oldest son, William, had his birthday at the beginning of the month, and my husband was out of town for a while. Not a while, a weekend, but it felt like a while to me. My husband was out of town, and so I didn't get as much stitching done in this past month that I had gotten done previously for my other Flosstube. So I just have a few cross stitch updates that I'll share. But yeah, it's been, this is the second week of school. Last week was a half week. They started on a Wednesday. And then this week they, back to normal, going to school on Monday through Friday. So it's been taking a little while to get back into routine, like the full routine of bedtime and all the things. But it's been a good start to the year for the two kiddos. So now that their routine has gotten back to normal, hopefully mine, day-to-day routine of things gets kind of back to normal, and I can figure out how my days are going to go in terms of crafting projects, house stuff, still trying to find a job, all the things. But yeah, so Flosstube, I don't have any FFOs this time. If you don't know what an FFO is, it's a fully finished object. I didn't fully finish anything, but I did finish the stitching on my, which side is up? This side is up? Yeah, this side is up. On my Star of Wonder stitch along. This was a free stitch along through Fat Quarter Shop. It finished at the end of July. We started the beginning of July and it ended at the end of July to coincide with Jolly July, or Christmas in July. It was a stitch along and a quilt along. I participated in the stitch along. I used the called for fabric and thread. The fabric is White Chocolate by Witchelt. Yeah, White Chocolate by Witchelt, which it's a really nice creamy neutral. And then the threads are Classic Colorworks, which were really nice to work with. I've worked with them before in the past, and I really like working with them. So that was nice to get it finish the stitching. I'm really proud of myself that I stayed on track with the stitch along. It's always nice when you keep up with everything, because I can't claim that I always keep up, because I don't always keep up. But it's nice to have it done, and then I want to get a frame for it and then frame it at the front of our house, not like outside the front, but in the entryway. I have a little like an entryway table where during Christmas I set up like a little Christmas display with a couple little village houses and some stuff. So I think it'd be really cute to be able to hang it or display it some way amongst all that Christmas stuff during Christmas, because I definitely decorate in like traditional, honestly, like traditional Christmas, red and green, and then pink. So this was perfect because it fits my color scheme for Christmas already. So I'm really glad to have that finished. I don't have any other finishes, and I only have, I have minimal, I wouldn't say minimal. I worked on only 2 other projects, so I only have 2 whips to share today. Because like I said, the past month with getting back to school has been busy. One of the whips I worked on was this Dimensions kit that I picked up while antique shopping over the summer. It's the Dolphin Trio from Dimensions. This is 1999 is the date, the copyright date on this one. And this is my progress. So last time I think I only had this one dolphin done. So I got the other dolphins, I did some of the coral and stuff, and I've started over on this section, which is like a kelp forest. This is going very slowly because the symbols, there's like three or four different threads that are going to get used to make the kelp forest, and the symbols that the chart uses for all of those are very similar. So I'm having to go really slowly and keep referring back to the chart a lot to make sure I don't miscount or misstitch something in the wrong place and then have to frog it, because that's really annoying when that happens. But yeah, it's making good progress. I was kind of hoping that, because I'm going to give this to my son William, at one point in time he wanted to be a marine biologist. I don't know if it's every child wants to be a marine biologist at one point in time, because I know I also wanted to be a marine biologist at one point in time. But so the plan is to gift this to my son William, the older one, and I tried to like stitch as fast as possible and get it done for his birthday. I even already bought a frame for it, but I did not get it done. So hopefully I can get this done over the next month, and then I'll be able to frame it and give it to him, just as a I love you gift, just a gift from mom. But I'm pretty close. Like, it's just I have to do the kelp forest and then the coral and stuff, and then there's a significant amount of backstitching in the kit, which I feel recently I've been doing a lot more like indie designed patterns, or like fat quarter shop design patterns and things like that. And there's a significantly, and it might just be because of like the patterns I'm choosing have less backstitching, but I've noticed a lot of them have a lot less backstitching than the Dimensions kits. And when I first started cross stitching, I was a kid. I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. And so the only thing I knew at that point in time was going to like Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby and getting a kit and just stitching the kit. So like I was a kit stitcher for decades. Like all I stitched was kits, and it wasn't until the last 5 to 10 years or so that I've branched out and started doing more independent designers and stuff like that. And so a lot of those I find don't have as much backstitching. And so I don't know if it's because I'm gravitating towards things that don't have backstitching because I did so much in kits when I was younger. But yeah, that was just something I've noticed recently. So gotta do the backstitching. I always save it for last. I don't know. I like to do all of the cross stitches across the whole thing and then go back and do the backstitching. But I've seen some people on Flosstube, it's like they'll finish a section and then do the backstitching. So I'm curious, like, am I weird by saving it till the end? Is the other people weird? Or nobody's weird and just everyone has a personal preference. But yeah, so that's you know, my tangent of the day. Backstitching. Is it just prevalent in kits? Maybe. Maybe not. No, because my Arctic Animals from Frosted Pumpkin has backstitching. But that project's still in timeout. If you watched last month's Flosstube, you saw that that one got put in timeout. It is still in timeout. Has not come out of timeout. The next whip I worked on was this Shine Bright sampler from Bonnie and Camille. So it's a quilt, but then it's also a cross stitch. It's in the back of the book. Where's the cross stitch? So it's a quilt and a cross stitch. So I started working on this. I'm using the colorway offered from Fat Quarter Shop, and using the Aura Floss that's on the wooden spool. So this one's still in the hoop, just like last time. This one, I finished this block over here, so I finished this other half of it enough that I could shift the hoop. I finished the X's, some more X's across the top, these flying geese, and then this red block here in the middle. This one is being stitched on a 25 count Lugana even weave. I might be wrong about that, but I do know it's 25 count. I like to stitch linens in a hoop versus with Ada, I like to stitch in hand. I found that I'm bad at this point in time at stitching linen in hand because my tension gets wonky, and so my stitches are either too loose or too tight, and it just looks like poo. So I like to have it in a hoop. I don't keep it drum tight in the hoop. Like, there's a bit of give in how I like to keep the fabric. But I do like using a hoop in this case to keep, because I feel like it helps with my tension. So I'm using this blue hoop that I have had this blue plastic hoop, I want to say since I was like 8. Like, I've had this blue hoop for a long time, and it's just like your basic blue plastic embroidery hoop, and I just use it for everything. It has traveled from project to project, year over year, still hanging on, and it works. So that was that whip. And other than that, like I said, I have not done a lot of stitching this past month in terms of cross stitching. I've only worked on these 3 whips, and one of them's now finished, which is nice. I guess for, like I mentioned with the Dolphin Trio, for plans in terms of cross stitch, my plan is to get that finished before the next Flosstube, which I should be able to do because, like, the dolphins are done, and I'm finishing up the stuff all around and then doing the back stitching. So I think between now and a month from now, when I do my next Flosstube, that should be easy peasy. This one is like just a nice, it's because it's like quilt blocks in the design, it's kind of mindless to stitch because it's big chunks of color. So this one I like to stitch when I'm watching TV or something. So this, I don't have a timeline for this one. It's just, you know, stitch it whenever. And then also for plans, I think I need to bring my Arctic animals out of timeout. Mainly because I don't want to fall too far behind with the release of the clues. I'm currently stitching clue number 1 and number 2. And then I want to say they just released clue number 4, but they might have already released clue number 5, or they're about to do clue number 5. So I don't want to get too far behind because I'm already like a decent chunk behind on that one. So hopefully in the next month, plans, Dolphin Trio finished, bring Arctic Animals out of timeout, and then just stitch casually on the Shine Bright. I think that'll be, those are good plans for the next month. I think that's good stitching plans. Oh, and then also work on my Disney one that I shared last time in the last Flosstube, my big, it's on the floor behind me, actually, it's not a hoop, the roll frame. Roll stand? Roll frame? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Haven't touched that at all since the last Flosstube. So hopefully, I also want to add that into the mix. So work on those 4 whips in the next month. I think that'll be good. Yeah, that's a good plan. And then that's all I have for cross stitch overall. Yeah, that's all I have for cross stitch overall. And then quilting. I have some quilting updates. Recently, I finished 4 quilts, 4 small baby quilts. I wrote a blog post about them, which I will link below, and everything I've talked about, I will link below. But I wrote a blog post about those. My quilt guild, the Houston Modern Quilt Guild, received a really large fabric donation from High Fashion Fabrics when they closed at the end of May. And so they cut up a bunch of fabric and put it into bundles and gave them away as a charity challenge, that if you made a charity quilt and brought it back in the month of August, you would be entered to win some pretty cool prizes. I did not win the prizes, but that's okay. I ended up making 4 quilts. I'll share pictures of them here somewhere. 4 baby size quilts that will go to Project Linus. I had a lot of fun doing these because they were small. They use free patterns, which those are all linked on the blog post. So if you are a lover of a free quilt pattern, those are there. And I just really I liked making the charity quilt because I know it's going to go to someone in need, and there's just something comforting about a quilt And it was nice too because they were small, so I was able to like start and finish them in a short amount of time. So I got that like sense of accomplishment from finishing something, which was really nice, which has like motivated me to have more like sojo and to get stuff done and to like work on things. So it was a really nice little challenge, and I'm thankful for the guild that they do stuff like that over the year to motivate us and get things done, as well as have a lot of quilts available to donate to charity. I think there were 56-ish, like 50 to 60 quilts that were donated in the month of August that will go to either Project Linus, which is one of our charities, or Day One Bags, which is another charity that we support. And I'll link to both of those below. Day One Bags is an organization that provides quilts to high school seniors that are aging out of the foster care system. And then there's Project Linus as well that donates quilts to kids in need. So that's really cool. And also for quilting, over the next couple months until Halloween, we'll be doing the Halloween Memories quilt along. They're doing a quilt along and a stitch along because this book has quilt patterns and cross stitch patterns in it. It's by Susan Aki. I am part of the quilt along, and we're making the this quilt that's on the back. And right now I am completely spacing on the name of it. What is it called? I know the Moonlight Quilt. So this is the Moonlight Quilt that we are making. It is very cool. It looks quite complicated, but it's not. I read the instructions. It's not as complicated as it looks. And I am using the Good Spirits fabric collection from Ruby Star Society. I have not opened this yet because it is just so pretty in its little package with its bow. But I need to open it. It's really cute fabric. I love this one with the little cats. Like, they're so cute. So that's the fabric I'm using. The quilt along officially kicked off yesterday, Tuesday. So I am behind already. But I have this fabric, and then I have a few more really cool. The Ruby Star Society, the Starry for some background. This is a Moda, it's a grunge. So it's like a tan beige with like screen printing. And then I also have this orange speckled with like gold spots for a border. And then I bought some of this really cool mojito green to be the binding, which I love a fun binding like that. But yeah, so the quilt along is from now. The quilt along and stitch along are from now until Halloween, maybe after Halloween. I think Halloween, maybe longer. I should look at the timeline. I'm so prepared, guys. I'm so organized. But yeah, so that is another quilting plan. Oh, you can see here on the back, you can see all the cross stitch things there in the little tower thing. They're really cute. It's hard to show the cross stitch projects without showing the, oh look, I'll show them on this page because the charts are really big. Like, the charts are full color in the book, and they like take up the whole page. So like this whole, I don't want to show it. I don't want to accidentally show it. But the charts are really good. So even though I'm not officially doing the stitch along, I'll probably also stitch some of the little Halloween ones. But yeah, that is my quilting / cross stitch plan for the Halloween memories. And yeah, that's all I got for today. Like I said, I don't have a lot. It was back to school time, so wasn't super busy with stitching. But now that the kids are in school, I have more time during the day. I'm still unemployed. I have a lot of time on my hands. So hopefully I get some more stitching time, some more quilting time over the next month, and I'll be able to share a bit more with y'all. And if you missed it, that means I need to go to the bus soon. Hey Google, stop. In case y'all missed it, a couple weeks ago I shared a video, an unboxing of some vintage quilt patterns that my mom bought at an estate sale. It was very cool. I love those patterns. I only saved a few and the rest have been put on eBay. So if you want to check those out, you can see that video here or here. It'll be in one of these corners. I'll link to that video, and yeah, that's all I got. Let me know if you've made it this far by giving me a dolphin emoji. Is there a dolphin emoji? There's got to be a dolphin emoji. Yeah, give me a dolphin emoji in the comments if you made it this far. Let me know what you're working on. If your kiddos have already gone back to school or not quite yet, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.